drum call, the way we begin our presentations of African American culture and heritage. And today we commemorate what is known as Juneteenth. You know, it's a very special day because just on yesterday, breaking news said Juneteenth is officially past the Senate and is ready to make its way to the desk of the president for a signature that will make this holiday, this commemoration, Juneteenth, the 19th of June, forevermore a national occasion to celebrate, to remember, to reflect, to uplift, to build, to embrace, to share with one another the beauty of what is America. Not forgetting the past, bringing that past with you. Those who deny the past and those who do not bring their past with them, do not understand and learn from the past, are doomed to repeat it. It's been a long time coming. Now this change, it seems to be closer now than it's ever been before. We ask that question. How many freedom songs must we sing before freedom comes?
How many freedom songs must we sing before freedom comes? How many freedom songs must we sing before freedom comes? How many freedom songs must we sing before freedom comes? How many freedom songs must we sing before freedom comes? I was born by the river in a little tent, and just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes it is. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes it is. We who believe in freedom cannot rest the smoke in the air. Feel the hate when they stare. All the pain that we bear. Oh, you better beware. Guns, they don't play fair. And all we got is a prayer. It was all in their plans. Wash the blood from your hands. Freedom for my brothers. Freedom 'cause they judge us. Freedom from the others. Freedom from the leaders that teaching us. Freedom gon' keep us strong. Freedom if you just hold on. Freedom ain't free at all, no. I'm gon' see it through. 'Cause see, there's no one like you. And I'm always, always fight for you. I'ma always, always fight for you. Always fight for you.
Freedom. 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 It ain't nothing like that word freedom. It's like freedom gives you that ability to move like this. You can do what you want to when you're free. Can you imagine a people searching for, seeking freedom? A people who watch their children sold from their arms, from their mother's arms, babies taken from their mama's breast, and sold into slavery, born a slave, not having the opportunity to taste freedom. We have gone through these times together. Each and all of us know just a little bit about those early days, 1862 through 1865, when Frederick Douglass met with Abraham Lincoln and said, the best thing that we could do is free those bondsmen. Those held in bondage should be set free to fight for their freedom, to fight for the Union Army against the Confederate Army. Don't let them trick you. The Civil War was not just about growing cotton. It was not about having rights in your individual states. This was all about man feeling as though he had the right to own other men. Nobody has the right to own another human. That's why we searched. That's why we marched. That's why we sing for freedom. Now those of you are in your own space, wherever you are, if you're attending, you're listening, you're watching, just pick up the rhythm as Lisa is singing, huh? That word is freedom, loud as you want. Baba Mark is playing the drum, the djembe drum, the original instrument, a handmade African drum. And we speak of freedom. Somebody say it at home. Can I hear you? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Have fun. Juneteenth, a day of jubilee, of celebration. Well, there were times where the Africans at home, they stayed up all night on that December evening in 1862. They had known that the president had signed the Emancipation Proclamation by the urging of Frederick Douglass. It was no easy task. Oh no. The Congress and the Senate, they were at odds with one another, fighting and cursing and angry. Well, of course, we were at war with each other. Brothers fighting brothers, cousins fighting cousins. Sisters were on one side and on the other side and against each other. You had to kind of do whatever your husband said you was going to do. If you was from the South, that divided our nation. People heard wind of Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass heard their calls. Frederick Douglass spoke to his children. Frederick Douglass made his way. Frederick Douglass' own son went to fight in battle. Frederick Douglass spoke to President Abraham Lincoln. And he said, we must free the bondsmen. We must allow them to fight for their freedom. Well, the argument was, if we give them that freedom, they're going to run amok. They're going to take over the country. And there's been a fear. There's been a fear in this land ever since. But on that December evening, the people waited. They watched, waiting for the clock to strike 12 midnight. For on that first day of 1863, all men were free. Men and women. But they didn't include that back then. They just said all men. Mankind. Free. 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 That connects us all. You and I, we're brothers and sisters. Our skin may be a bit different, yes. We may be born in different places and have different accents. We have different ways of carrying ourselves. But in this great country, we are all American. Yes, we give our heritage African American. Yes, we give honor to our culture. But we share that because we have freedom. But we are all connected. The ancestors said to play my drum.
The ancestors said,
Play for you this African sound.
the ancestors said,
Find a rhythm, please. Clap your hands. We are connected to the elements. Connected. The ancestors say I should try. Get you to raise your voice up high. Find a message in this song. This is how we'll get along. Connected like leaves to a tree. Like sand to the beach. Like stars in the sky. he reached the age of 12, it was time for him to decide what he's going to do with his life. The children were raised that way. From a small village in Benin, West Africa, this young, soon-to-be teen followed the traditions set forth by the elders. When time had come, his mother packed him a bag full of food. Yes, his father gave him tools that he would need to protect himself. And the boy set out. He began to walk. He walked for a day, a week, a month, a year and a day. He came upon a place. In this place, he decided this is where he would sit and rest and think. He saw over there a tall tree, a black walnut tree, with its roots sitting above the ground. He sat with his bottom on the roots, his back against the trunk of the tree. He breathed in that clear, fresh air. He began to think. And he drifted off into slumber. And he slept. He could hear the rushing of the river. It wasn't too far away. The sound of the breeze as it blew through the tops of the trees. It wasn't too far away. He could hear the animals as they played in the wilderness. He could hear them. Even the blades of grass as they whispered in the breeze. He sat. Then he heard a sound. It is I who speaks to you. I am ancestor. You see over there? That is my branch. A strong wind came, blew it from my trunk, and now it's there. I am old. I no longer bear fruit. My leaves barely grow anymore. But you have come to bring me new life. Pick up my branch. Pick up my branch, and I want you to take my branch. Cut it the size of 26 inches tall. The ancestor spoke to him. It was as though he could hear the words. Maybe it was just the rustling of the trees, but he knew for sure that that tree was speaking to him. And he picked up that branch. Hollow it out. He hollowed it out. Shaped the bottom into that of a bell. The top into that of a bowl. Find the skin of the elephant's ear. Pull it tight. Tune it high. Place your hand on the center of what we will call drum. The young man did as the voice told him. Ancestors will speak to you. He could understand the language, the tools his father gave him before he left home, made his task skin from the elephant's ear. He pulled it tight. He tuned it high. He put his hand in the center. The ancestor told him, play the rhythm of your heartbeat. He began to play. He felt that rhythm. And the ancestor spoke to him as though his voice was coming through him. The ancestor said, the ancestor said, to play my drum. Play for you this African sound. Find a rhythm you can dance. We are connected to the elements. Connected like grass to the ground. Black, white, and brown. All fish in the sea. Yeah, you and me, we're like ice in a glass. Like now to our past. Like clouds to the rain. Just like joy and pain. The ancestor said, the ancestor said. You say, the ancestor said, ancestor said. Yeah. The ancestor said, the ancestor said. The young man did as he was told. He made that drum and he carried it with him on his way home. As he would stop from place to place, lay his hand on the drum, people gather round. They follow the rhythm of the drum. They began to move their shoulders and their bodies, their heads from side to side. They moved their feet to the rhythm of the drum. It felt like freedom. He continued to walk. Soon, he came upon his village. It was the governor's. It was that superior guard of the king. They come to meet him. The king had heard of his travels. The king said, he was told, bring your drum. Come to the palace of the king. Play your drum for the people. The king said it's a healing sound. The king said it's a freedom sound. The king said, come play your drum for our people. Ancestors said to play my drum. Play for you this African sound. Find that rhythm you can dance. We are connected to the elements. Connected. Connected. are,
connected,
you and I,
connected,
each one of us.
connected,
The outer shell does not matter.
connected,
Our spirit, our soul.
connected.
Ancestors said, the ancestors said. Yay, Bo! Hey, everybody. Hi. It's so wonderful to tell stories again. And even through this medium, we're virtual. We're playing, playing the drum on the PC. What do you call it? This is a
Laptop.
it's a laptop. It goes in your bag. You can take it anywhere with you. So most of the time I'm out south in DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. And this is the crew. This cat and me, we go back nearly 40 years of doing this kind of work. At least 25. Where we've been doing it for so long. It's a master drummer. There was one summer where I was living over here in Chicago off of the big street, 103rd and Kedzie. And right over there by 103rd and Kedzie, there's a golf course, California Street. And we would ride past the golf course, going anywhere. You got to go down that way because that's the way you're going to get to the freeway. You can go down the other way and go to 111 and go to the freeway. But I never really went that way. I just go up on 103rd. I don't know why. I just like passing the golf course. One day I'm passing by the golf course and they're out there felling trees. They were chopping them down. They were chopping down trees, and I just was like, whoa, they chopping down trees. I think I called Mark. I said, Mark, they chopping down trees. Mark was like, we'll go ask them if you can have some of them trees. I said, okay. And I pulled in, right there at the golf course. I said, hey, we play drums, and my friend, he makes drums. And we usually use the wood. Looks like the wood of that tree. Ash wood. And they say, yeah, well, what do you want? I said, maybe we can have a few pieces of that wood. The guy who was in charge of the group said, take as much as you want. We're just going to mulch it up and give it to people to put around their garden. Man, we came back over there with at least 2 vans and a truck. And we filled those vehicles up with wood, about 26, 28 inches. And it was just perfect wood. And we put it in the backyard because summer was coming. And we spent the summer hollowing out the wood from that tree and shaping the bottom into that of a bell and the top into that of a bowl. We have friends in Peoria. Whenever we call, we would say, well, you guys got skins because they're hunters. They go hunt. They got cow, they got goat, they got deer. We get whatever skin that they have from whatever they were doing. One day we got monkey. No, we didn't get the monkey. I just thought about a monkey. But, but we would make drums in the back. And it was so proud of these drums. We called them African drums made in America in the backyard of Chicago. That was such a great learning experience to make the drums. Get the rope, pull it tight. And as we did that during the course of the summer, the story connected. It just came to life like it came through me. I was so proud of that energy, like an ancestor was speaking. And that's how we utilize the art of storytelling to bring our communities together. Some stories are sad and difficult. You get to tell our stories, though. I'm going to share with you now one of the stories that we began to learn about the great eagle. Similarities between ourselves and the eagles. In this story that we tell called The Eagles Who Thought They Were Chickens. One of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up, I'll fly away home. One of these mornings,
I'm gonna wake up, I'll fly away home, fly away home, fly away home.
one of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up,
I'll fly away home. One of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up, I'll fly away home,
fly away home, fly away home. Once on a time in a land far away, the grass was green, the sky was blue. That lucky old sun had nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. In this place, there were a beautiful people. Oh, these people were proud, brave, strong. They would walk around with their heads held high, their backs up straight. A working people, a family people, a people who loved the land and cared for one another. They got their ways from the majestic eagle, the great eagle. The male eagle would perch himself high up on a mountain cliff, looking over the people, seeing the land, knowing how beautiful, how powerful their presence were. So these people, they would watch that eagle as he soared high above the top of the trees, perch himself on a... When I wake up, I'll fly away home. One of these mornings,
I'm gonna wake up, I'll fly away home,
fly away home, fly away home. So that female eagle would choose her mate based upon the ability of the male eagle to catch a twig. A twig. There he is, perched on a mountain cliff, overlooking the land and the people. The female eagle would have that twig clutched between her beak, and as she soared high above the tops of the trees, she would allow that twig to fall from her beak. And as it fell, male eagles would come down off their perches, out of the trees, swooping down out of the sky, attempting to catch that twig before it hit the ground. You see, my friends, it's a known fact that the female eagle, once she has her babies and they become fledglings, then it's time for them to learn to fly. And she, the female eagle, will put push them little babies up out of the nest. Oh, well, they'll try. But for the ones who don't have that ability yet to catch the air and fly, that father better be there to catch them babies. That's how she chooses her mate. If he can catch a twig, he can catch a baby. Would it were so, we'd all be out there catching twigs to be the mate of a majestic female eagle. But then one day the men in the boats came. They fought the people and they captured the eagle. The mother eagle, who had been on her nest there, nesting with the eggs that were under her, they took the nest and the mother eagle all, and they threw it into the belly of a ship. That ship sailed across rough and treacherous waters. No room for her to spread her wings and fly away. No way for her to nourish herself, let alone care for those babies. She became ill and weak. Soon she began to sleep. She slept that sleep that seldom ceases. She would bat her eyes and bring herself back. She knew it was time. One of those little eggs began to shudder and shake, and pretty soon that shell, it did break. And when it broke, the baby eagle stuck her head out of the shell. She looked about. She looked into the eyes of her mother. Her mother pushed out the phrase, always believe in yourself. Try your best to try your best. And then she slept. A second little egg, it began to shudder and shake, and pretty soon that shell, it did break, and out poked the head of another little tiny baby eagle. He looked around. He saw mother was sleeping. Sister was already awake and caring for her brother. Then the third little egg began to shudder and shake, and pretty soon that shell, it did break, and out poked the head of a third little tiny eagle. The first mate, he said to the captain, "Captain, there are little tiny eagles in the belly of the ship. What should I do with them?" And the captain had this evil laugh. "You take them little tiny eagles, throw them in the chicken bin. That way when they grow up, they'll think that they are chicken." What a devastating thing to do. They put those little tiny eagles in a chicken bin, and when that ship landed, they sold those little tiny eagles to the chicken farmer. And the chicken farmer took those beautiful little tiny eagles and put them in the chicken farm. And the first thing the chickens said when they saw those little eagles, "Y'all some ugly chickens. Look at you. You got them brown feathers, them big beaks, and what are those? Wings? What you need wings for? Chickens can't fly. Y'all can't fly. You're just some ugly chickens." The little tiny eagles began to believe that they indeed were ugly chickens. They wouldn't barely eat. They dragged their little tiny feet. They hung their heads down in shame, and time passed. Those men in the boat, they went back to that beautiful land where the grass is green and the sky is blue and the lucky old sun has nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. They went back again and they fought the people and they captured another great eagle. They captured the male eagle and clipped his wings, threw him into the belly of the ship and across those rough and treacherous waters. That ship sailed, and they sold that great eagle to the same farmer where the little tiny eagles who thought that they were chickens were, as fate would have it. When he saw those little tiny eagles, he spread his wings. They had not repaired as of yet. He said to those eagles, "Come, my brother. Come, my sister. Spread your wings and fly away. You are part of a great and proud race. You are meant to soar high above the tops of the trees, through the clouds, right next to that lucky old sun, which has nothing to do but roll around heaven all day. Spread your wings. Fly away." The little tiny eagles thought they were chickens. Was like, "Are you talking to us? No, be quiet. Don't say anything about being great. Don't say anything about being able to fly. Don't say anything about us, because those right over there are the roosters. And them is the chickens. And those roosters, they're gonna get you. And they'll scratch out your eyes and leave you bloody. And the chickens, cluck, 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 cluck. They won't stop. The great eagle, he looked. He looked at those little tiny eagles who thought that they were chickens. He said, "Spread your wings and fly away." The little girl, she felt something inside of her. Did not know what it was. She decided that she would start to run. She ran as fast as she could. She ran as fast as she could, and she began to flap her wings. She never flapped her wings before. She didn't quite know what she was doing. She ran as fast as she could. She flapped her wings, and she got up off the ground just a little bitty ways before she tumbled down into the dirt. And the chicken's right there. "Ha ha ha ha! Told you couldn't fly. Ha 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 ha! Told you was dumb. Ha ha ha! I told you you was dirty. You dumb, ugly, and dirty." But that's when the miracle happened. She just brushed off her little tiny shoulders. She began to run again. She felt the spirit of her mother. She said, "Just believe in yourself. Always. Believe in yourself." And again, she ran. The great eagle, his wings had grown enough until he pumped them against the air, and he rose up on the fence of the farmyard. She saw what he did, so she did like him. And she pumped her wings, rose up in the air, flying higher and higher and higher and higher. Her little brother saw her up in the air like that. He didn't even have to run. He just stuck out his wings, pumped them against the air, and took off like a rocket ship. "I can fly!" He soared into the air. There was that third little tiny eagle who thought he was a chicken. The great eagle said, "Come, your brother, your sister, see, come. Spread your wings and fly away. But each of them had tried. But that third little tiny eagle who thought he was a chicken didn't even want to try. He shook his head and said, no, no, I don't want to. The great eagle looked at him and said, what? Oh, you've never seen eagles fly before. You don't think that you can. But believe me, if you don't try, you never will. So go ahead, try and fly. I don't want to. Wait, my friend. Come. You think that if you get up there, you might fall down? I am the great eagle. If you begin to fall, I will be there to catch you. Spread your wings and fly away. I don't want to. The great eagle looked at him. If you don't want to try, there is nothing that I or anybody else can do to help you. That third little tiny eagle, he just hung his head down. And the great eagle, he spread his wings and pumped them against the air. He rose up off of that fence and onto the wire and over the tops of the trees, and he began to fly. He was on his way home. He began to fly. He was on his way home. One of these moments,
I'm gonna wake up, I'll fly away home.
Right behind him was his sister, pumping her wings, keeping up with the great eagle. And that rocket ship, he was right behind, soaring through the air, flying like an old pro. That feeling inside him would not let him leave his brothers on the ground. No. He tilted his wings and he soared back down. He reached out there, talons, and grabbed him by the chest. Continued to pump his wings. Flung his brother up in the air. He said, you spread your wings. Learn to fly or die trying. Fumbling and stumbling and tumbling and falling back down to the ground. Instinct, spirit stuck in. He stretched out his wings up, higher and higher, able to fly his way back home. Yes, one of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up, I'll fly away home. One of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up, I'll fly away home, fly away home, fly away home. Yay, Bo, yay, Bo, yay, Bo. Yay! The story of the eagles who thought they were chickens. More fun than you can imagine. Telling the stories of our culture, the stories of our heritage, of who we are and whose we are. That's the importance of the celebrations that we have in our culture. I mean, just imagine if you list them all as African American people. You've got Kwanzaa during that holiday season where we try to utilize the 7 principles to guide us all year round for unity and self-determination. collective work and responsibility, the cooperative economics, purpose, and 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 faith, and our creativity. Utilizing our creativity to make a way, to open doors. King Day celebration in the middle of January. The entire month of February, even though people say now it's 365, African American Heritage Month, the time for us to look into history, to read about the great inventors that were making inventions before we had the right to patent things. The inventors that continue to work today on eye surgery, LASIK eye surgery, and those who invented the parts that needed to happen in order to make the cellular phone, and the use of these computers and technology to flow the way it does. People of African heritage, African American people, Black people. So you have plenty of reason to hold your head up and carry yourself proud. Throughout the year, we celebrate our heritage, our culture, our freedom. Oh, we're not remiss in understanding that it was General Gordon Granger who had come there in Galveston, Texas. It was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed, before they made their way to Texas. Texas was one of the very last states that had battle, that fought in that war, brother against brother, father against son, cousins on two different sides, hurt, harm, and danger. And by that time, right along that Gulf of Mexico, they had the colored troops, Black people who were soldiers for the Union Army. They brought calm. They brought a spirit of calmness, because the people, they were on a border, and you've got a whole nother country not too far away from you, and the country that you're in, they're fighting each other, and you was held in bondage as a slave. Oh Lord, can you imagine growing up during that time, what you would have done? You don't know where to look, where to run, and where to hide. And doggone it, if it doesn't feel like that today sometimes, I don't know where to run, where to hide. I can't hide myself. I walk outside. I'm a Black man. I'm a Black man at 10 a.m., at 6:30 a.m., at 10 p.m., all day long. You can't hide this. So we can strengthen this with our knowledge, with our truths, with our belief, with our stories, and with one another. Only thing ever gonna fix all this mess is love. Dr. King said all the time, the only thing that can push out hate is love. It's just like light and darkness. When it's really dark, you have to put in some light.
Yeah.
And then the darkness goes away. But I don't care how much you try. If everybody doesn't work together, we'll never, ever, 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 not ever, never really get there. So I want you to practice at home with me, as we just put these words together. It's 4 little words. I'll teach you the word first. Then Baba Mark's going to pull it up on the drum. And then Lisa's going to sing like she do. And I'm probably going to dance. Yeah, I'm going to dance. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dance. So get ready. So who's going to dance with? If you at home, you got to move some stuff out the way. We get ready to dance, everybody. Are we ready? Okay, these are the words. Here's the words. I love my people. That's all we got to do. That's all we gotta do. Like people, like, and we know what people look like. You know, one head, couple of arms. You know, eyes, nose, mouth, ears, chin, knees, toes, head, shoulders, knees, toes. People. I love my people. We are all each other's people. And we can just share just a little bit of this love from our hearts and see what brings us together, what makes us, and our stories. Our stories help bring us together. Our stories take away a lot of that fear, a lot of that concern, a lot of that loss, and that feeling of hopelessness. Sharing our stories. The more I know about you, the more you know about me, the less you're going to feel as though you're afraid. Mm-hmm. So our stories, talking to one another, in every situation we can, share. So let's try. Let's try to sing "I Love My People." Miss Lisa's gonna start, then Mark gonna pull up the drum, and then the people at home gonna be singing, and then I'm gonna be dancing. That's what's gonna happen. Y'all ready? Are you ready? Oh, it's a hand dance.
Okay, so you don't have to actually get up.
Oh no, I don't think I have to get up.
Okay.
Oh, no, yeah. Okay, are you ready? We about to do our thing. Okay, let's go.
I love my people. 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 I love my people.
My people are strong from the cradle to the grave.
I love my people.
They couldn't break us down even when they called us slaves.
I love my people.
We kept our pride throughout the years.
I love my people.
Worked hard and prayed, even shed some tears.
I love my people.
No matter what the world has put us through,
I love my people.
We come out on top in everything we do.
I love my people.
Everybody say, I love my people.
I love my people.
I'll say it again.
I love my people. I love my people.
I love my people, all the colors of our skin.
I love my people.
When we all work together, we know that we can win.
I love my people.
I love the way we walk.
Love the way we walk.
I love the way we talk.
Love the way we talk.
I love the way we sing.
Love the way they
I'm blessed because I know one thing. What? I love my people, and there is no doubt we're gonna be all right. Here's what I'm talking about. Everybody say, I love my
people. I love my people.
Say it again.
I love my people. I love my people.
You find my people all around the world.
I love my people.
Man and woman, boys and girls.
I love my people.
Always trying to do our best.
I love my people.
We work hard every day and seldom rest.
I love my people.
And if I could have one wish come true,
I love my people.
and you love me like I love you.
I love my people.
Everybody say, I love my people.
I love my people.
Say it again.
I love my people. I love my people.
No matter where we go,
No matter
there we
where
are. There we are.
There we are.
We're not just players.
We're not just playing.
We're the shining stars.
We're the shining stars.
Spread this word,
Spread this word.
both near and far,
Both near and far.
about just how blessed
About just how blessed
we truly are.
we truly are.
Take these words
Take these words
across the land.
across the land.
Divided we fall.
Divided we fall.
United we
But
stand.
united we stand.
Think about greatness.
Think about greatness.
Your history.
Your history.
Without my people.
Without my people.
Without our people.
Without our people.
Without your people.
Without your people.
Where would we be?
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 Where would we
Somebody
be?
say, I love my people.
I love my people.
I like that part.
I love my people.
Yay!
I love my people.
No, that's I do that part too. What?
I love my people. I love my people.
Storytelling, y'all. Storytelling time. Yeah, we remember and we know the love that we need. We remember General Granger. We remember that troop, the group of the colored, Negro, African American soldiers who set up law and order on that southern border of Texas. And we understand when they read from the rules, they read from the emancipation from this day forward. Everyone is considered free. They encourage those who have been held in bondage on different plantations, stay on the plantation where you are. We hope that you will work and form a relationship different from what had been before, more like employer and employee, where you're paid wages for your efforts. But you know, my friends, the story continues. It was right after that, through Reconstruction, Jim Crow, inventing rules about more than 3 people gathering together. Looks like they're going to form some kind of overtake the government. They could throw them in jail and make them work and do the same thing and not pay them wages. So they just changed, made slavery different. Come on, y'all. If we don't learn and understand what our history is, we are doomed to repeat it. Young people, my friends, let's work together. Let's do our best. Because this taste of freedom, just a taste. What if there was a full 8-course meal, a spread, everything that you wanted to try to do? You did not have any blockages as long as it was legal, as long as it doesn't hurt others, that you have the freedom to chart your own destiny. Believe in yourself. Believe in one another.